There's a secret hiding in plain sight in one of the most ordinary moments you've ever had. You know that strange thing that happens in the shower? You're not thinking about anything in particular. You're just standing there, feeling the water, maybe a little lost in the warmth. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, the perfect solution to a problem you've been wrestling with for days just arrives, fully formed, like a gift you didn't earn. We usually shrug this off. We say, "Oh, I just needed a break." We assume our brain was working on it in the background, like some kind of silent computer churning through data while we soaked up. But that's not really what's going on. The true explanation is much stranger, and it connects your morning shower to some of the wildest ideas in modern physics and the oldest wisdom traditions on Earth. Let's walk through it. Imagine a tree. A single leaf on that tree is turning brown and sickly. It needs help. Now picture a gardener who sees that leaf and decides the solution is to stand there and carefully paint it green. Absurd, right? The problem isn't the leaf's paint job. The problem is something the leaf is connected to but can't control, the flow of sap from deep within the tree. A skilled gardener ignores the leaf and waters the root, trusting that the inner life of the tree will send up what's needed and heal the leaf on its own. Your mind works in a remarkably similar way. When you're stuck on a problem, your mind is like that brown leaf. It's active, focused, strained. It's gripping the problem as a separate object and wrestling with it directly. This is what we normally call trying hard. And it works for some things, but for real insight, it often fails. The leaf can't fix itself by struggling. It's cut off from the deeper source of intelligence that gave it life in the first place. What happens in the shower is a kind of letting go. You're not asleep, but you're not focused. Your mind stops gripping. It begins to settle down, quietly, naturally, the way silt settles to the bottom of a glass of water when you stop shaking it. This settling isn't just a psychological trick. It's a movement from the noisy surface of the mind towards something much deeper and more silent. Think of the ocean. The surface is all chaos, waves, wind, individual peaks and troughs crashing into each other. That's our normal waking state, one thought after another. The constant sense of me and my problem. But as you descend, the water becomes calmer, quieter, until you reach a depth where there is no wave at all. Just a still, silent, boundless expanse. A field of pure potential. Here's where it gets really interesting. Physics has a name for something very similar. It's called the vacuum state, the lowest energy state of a field. And despite the name, it's not empty. It's a silent sea of potential from which every particle, every force, every manifestation in the universe can arise. It's the invisible, unmanifest source of all the visible, manifest stuff of reality. When your mind settles into that deep, silent, unbounded state, call it the mental equivalent of the vacuum state, a strange and wonderful thing happens. The hard boundary between you and the world softens. The little me who had a problem and the vast intelligence that orchestrates galaxies are no longer felt as two separate things. On that level, you're not a separate self trying to get a solution from a distant place. You are the field from which solutions are born. So the answer doesn't arrive because you figured it out. It arrives spontaneously, naturally, the way a wave rises from the stillness of the deep ocean. You didn't solve the problem by effort. You became the quiet condition from which the solution emerges on its own. And this is the satisfying click, the reveal that flips our common sense assumption on its head. Our default assumption is that handling life's complexity requires more effort, more thinking, more direct manipulation of all the separate leaves, our finances, our relationships, our health, our endless to-do lists. We assume the path to mastery is to become an expert leaf painter, frantically touching up one problem after another. That path is exhausting and often futile. You fix one leaf and 3 more go brown. The real mechanism is almost the opposite. The ultimate skill isn't learning to juggle infinite complex situations. It's learning to tend to one single simple thing, the source of your own self, the silent inner sap, the root of awareness. And here's the liberating twist. Handling that one thing is by far easier than handling anything else. Why? Because you don't handle it from a distance. You don't do it. You simply are it. effortlessly. The leaf painter works himself to the bone. The gardener of the root simply waters and trusts. The path of immense difficulty is the one we're all on by default, chasing endless problems. The path of true simplicity is the one that seems almost too good to be true, yet turns out to be the fundamental mechanics of nature and of our own minds. So, maybe the next time you're impossibly stuck on something, don't try so hard. Go take a shower, stare out a window, sit quietly, and let the mental silt settle. And if anyone walks in and asks why you're not working, you can just tell them you're accessing the unmanifest field of all possibilities. 1.